All right, guys, this is Ryan. I'm going to kind of go over the EFI Live Autocal with the BNR tuning service. I guess Jerry wanted me to go over some things and how it works and what to expect and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to kind of ramble on for a while and tell you guys a little bit about it. This is actually what the unit looks like here. I think Kelsey posted a picture of it. Of course, it's not plugged in right now. On the bottom, you've got an RJ45 cable or Ethernet type cable port, and then you have a what looks very much, and I believe it's the same thing as a printer cable port. I think they called that Firewire at one time. And that's pretty much it. This is the unit. This is how it'll look when you get it. I don't know if Jerry's going to put some BNR logos on it. Maybe, I don't know. He talked about that at one time, but I don't know if he's going to still do that or not. Anyway, so when you get it, you're going to take it out to your car and you're going to hook it up. Of course, obviously I'm not at my car, so I'm just going to turn it on this way to show you guys. It's got the nice little BNR display that pops up there. So there's a bunch of options. There's display DCTs. I'm pretty sure that's your check engine codes and stuff like that, because I think you can clear codes on here. Yep, that's the next option. You can clear codes. You can select PIDs, which basically a PID, from my understanding of all of this, is basically no different than like plugging a ultra gauge in. It's going to select different computer parameters that it looks at. Data record, that's how you data log. And yes, you can data log your trifecta tune without ever using this as a tuner. If you just want to use it to data log, you can do that. And I'll show you on the computer here after a while that you can actually view the log. You can view it on gauges, or you can view it as a dyno type chart thing. Several different things you can do. Display data, you can actually display data live, like any of the PID information, your boost, all sorts of things. Just keep in mind that it's boost is not going to display in PSI, it displays as KPA, so you'll have to know what the conversion is for that. And temperatures for like engine coolant temp will also be in Celsius, not Fahrenheit, so you'll have to know the conversion to be able to really use this. Okay, read. This is the first thing you're going to do when you get this. If you have the trifecta tune, you'll want to return to stock first. But once you return to stock, you'll do a read. You'll hit the OK button. It will basically copy your stock tune to the EFI Live. And then I'll show you once I get over onto the Windows side of my MacBook how you would send that to Jerry. Read 2 is for the automatic transmissions. I don't think it's unlocked for EFI Live yet. We're waiting on that. Hopefully they get around to it. They seem to be pretty busy with other vehicles, and we don't seem to be a priority right now. So let's go down here. Program 1, that's my custom tune there that Jerry's, the current revision of our tune that me and Jerry are working on. This is how, if he sent me a new one, I would recalibrate with program 1. If I needed to return to stock, I've got stock-ish, which has all my cells disabled, like for the PO420 for the no primary catalytic converter. Or if something goes wrong in a test and I'm stuck on the side of the road, I can switch to stock and get home at least. So I recommend, if you do this, to always have a stock file on hand. Of course, you can add more than a couple of tunes on there. I've not been able to get more than 2 tunes on there, but apparently it will hold more. Full is to do a force full reflash. The first time you program a tune with Jerry, I would recommend doing the full tune, and there will be times that he changes a whole lot of stuff and he'll tell you to force the full tune, and that's what he means. Same thing for returning to stock. I think Jerry would prefer if when we return to stock we use the full. I don't know that I always do that, but it's probably a good idea. Let's see. I don't know what save trace is. I'm not really read up on that, so I'm not real sure. Delete scan files. So if you've done a data log and you messed up and for whatever reason you want to delete it, you can delete them by pressing the OK button there. This shows the serial number of your device, the license number, firmware, and the boot. I don't know, some part of the firmware on there. But anyway, that's going over the device there. Let me go ahead and boot over to Windows, and I'll start showing you some of the software stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this. I always do before I boot. Okay, so here we go. On a MacBook, when you're booting to Windows, you want to tell it to restart. And once it shuts off and you hear the tune, you're going to hold the Option key. So just wait for it to shut down. Hear the tune, hold the Option key. Option comes up there and Windows is there, so you'll scroll over to Windows and hit Enter, and now it's going to boot Windows. On the Windows side, I always do hibernate because it tends to boot faster than it would if you did a complete shutdown. So anyways, that's what I like to do. So we'll just have to wait while it comes out of hibernate. I may have shut down the last time, I'm not sure. No, I didn't. Okay, I hibernated, so... Anyways, this is proof you can do Windows on a MacBook. Not going to worry about that or that. I always keep this open because, like I said, I'm constantly emailing Jerry back and forth with revisions. He's really good with the customer service. Anyways, let me get to the main screen. When you first get it, you're going to install EFI Live 7.5 and 8. I don't hardly ever use 7.5. I use 8 for more than anything, for most things that are out there. The main thing most people are going to worry about is what's called EFI Live Explorer. Let me plug the unit back in here. Okay. See if you can get the BNR boot screen there. Yeah, Bad News Racing there. Okay, so now you can see that it's plugged into my computer. I'm going to go over here to EFI Live Explorer. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Okay, so over here, this shows everything that's on your EFI Live right now. You've got Scan, which is going to be your logs. I haven't done any logs, so there's not any in there right now. And under Tunes, it's going to have our 2 tunes here. When you first do the read, it will show up in here. You'll want to drag and drop that to your desktop and then email that file to Jerry. He's going to email you files back. I created a Bad News Racing folder for to keep all the logs and tunes. Here you can see the revisions that me and Jerry have done. We've done a lot. I was one of the first people to do this, so we've done a whole lot of different things. But basically, it's a drag and drop process. So when he sends you a tune, you click on the tune file, drag and drop it into the box. It'll load up, and then it'll be on the device, and you can unplug it. So once it's on the device, you'll be able to take it out to your car and do the program or full program, depending on whether it's just a recalibration or if he wants you to do a forced full program. Logs are the same way. You'll drag and drop your logs and you'll email them to him. It's pretty basic. Sorry, I've got my boys are interrupting me here. Anyway, so that's pretty much the basic concept for that. Let me show you what you can do with logs. Pull up the log file. If you just double click them, if you have EFI Live 7.5, it'll automatically load EFI Live 7.5. And it's gonna show you the basic stuff over here. It's going to show you all the PIDs that Jerry has set up. Throttle position, airflow rate, I mean all sorts of stuff in here. It'll even show your desired torque or what Jerry requested for torque, if he did that, mine or zeros. It'll show delivered torque. On this particular run, I had 192 torque. I don't know what that converts to on a dyno. I don't know how accurate this is, But I guess with anything, if you're comparing these numbers from log to log, then you'll know what your gains are or losses are, depends on whatever you're doing. It'll even show your boost pressure and things like that. That's the real basic way of viewing it. Let me show you what it will look like on EFI Live 8. So I'll right click, open with EFI Live version 8. You'll want to make sure, sometimes this doesn't show up, but if it doesn't show anything, you'll want to hit E78. A couple of updates back, mine wasn't automatically recognizing, so I had to click on E78. Now it's fixed and it's working fine. So you'll click OK, and it'll open up in this view here. You can right click these and change them to whatever PID you want to look at. If you click and drag and highlight the whole thing, it will show everything for the particular thing you're looking at. It'll tell you the trans torque actual. This one says the high point was 188.8, max boost was 24.1, and you can also kind of go along here, and these bottom values will show you whatever it is on the position that you're at. Like right here, it's saying I was at 4,069 RPMs. Mass airflow was 100 or 113.6 at that position there. But you can also switch over to gauge mode, and if you hit play on here, it will actually play through your entire log using gauges. And you can, I believe you can right click these and yeah, gauge editor, you can change what gauges it shows and stuff like that. It's really, really neat. Other cool things you can do, you can actually, let me stop this one. You can open this thing in, let's see, what was I trying to, what am I trying to remember? Oh, you can hook the EFI Live. If you take this cable with you in your laptop to your car, you can hook the EFI Live like it is now using this. You'll plug your RJ45 in or your Ethernet cable in, and you'll plug that ODB2 on the other end of your car, and you can go into what's called pass-through mode. I've only been able to get it to work on 7.5, but there has been a few updates, so it may work on 8, and you'll be able to log from your computer. I don't know if I'd ever use that or not. I would guess if I went and met Jerry in person, that's probably what he would be doing. That's pretty much it. Most people will probably not, I mean, your average person is probably not going to care about the logs. They'll be more interested in what Jerry has to say about it. If you want to look at the logs, you can. Otherwise, the main big thing is EFI Live Explorer. As long as you know how to send the, drag and drop files on a computer, you're going to be able to do this. And then you can let Jerry handle everything from there. I don't know a whole lot about cars. I've said that a million times. I just kind of tell him what I feel with the car, and he compensates and knows what I'm talking about, and usually can get me fixed up in a couple of revisions if it's a tweak I want to make. But anyways, that's it. I don't know really anything else to tell you about it. It's awesome. Give him a shout. Give it a try. I think you'll like it. Later, guys.